Good evening, folks. This is Steve Tucker. We are here live from the ASRA at Talladega Speedway, world famous Talladega. Man, we love this track. It's going to be an awesome race today. A lot of implications here for the Harpoon Design Truck Series. These boys have to get these points in. We are 2 races to go from the end of the regular season, and man, it's so close. We have Talladega right here. Anybody can win. And then next week, obviously, Watkins Glen to round out the regular season. Going to be, obviously, a barn burner, as they say. Tough couple of tracks. I'm going to bring in right now Frankie Barroso, my good friend. Frankie, dude, how's it going today?
Hello, Steve. I'm doing good.
Love to hear it, man. Hey, Talladega Superspeedway, obviously a crazy track. A lot of things can change. A lot of positions can be changed in a heartbeat. I mean, as a driver, if you're on the brink, if you're in the bubble, of the playoff picture, what do you do here? Do you play it safe? Do you stay up front and avoid the mess? What do you do?
Well, Talladega, there's really no strategy. There's no kind of one kind of highlighted line and say, do this and you'll easily win the race. I mean, it just seems like, whatever happens, and there's, like I said, there's really no strategy. So I think some guys will I think if they start further back, like if they're not starting at the front, they wouldn't mind sitting at the back, kind of just trundling along, just waiting for something to happen. But right. I will say, you want to start up front. The best place to be is up front, I must say.
I love that. Well, right now we're going to be jumping in qualifying. Currently, P1 on the board is Mark Whitley with the 56.06. Looking pretty good up there. Charlie Birch on track. All kinds of guys here today. I'm pretty excited, man. I mean, big, huge thanks to our sponsor today, Diamond Rodent Proofing. Let's see if we can... Is Andrew on the track? Yes, he is. Let's get a good old shot of Andrew right there in the Diamond Rodent Proofing number 06 truck. Love that. Just so you guys know, we'll cover this multiple times in the race, but Diamond Rodent Proofing is a pest control company based out of the San Francisco Bay Area. So it dates back to 2016 and has over 17 years of experience. They provide free estimates on solving all rodent problems. So rats, mice, raccoons, skunks, squirrels, birds, all of it. They are a poison-free company and provide 10% military and senior discounts. All work is backed up by their exclusive warranty. Diamond has eradicated thousands of homes, making the world a better place, one house at a time. Love to see that. DiamondRodentProofing.com. Check them out on Yelp, Nextdoor, Google, all the things, Frankie. But Diamond was ranked #1 best pest control company in the East Bay this year. So absolutely awesome. Go and check them out, man. Andrew McKenzie.
Yeah, Andrew McKenzie on track. I believe 14th. I think he's just trying to set up his lap.
Looking pretty good though. I mean, a lot of guys here. Thomas Meeks on board. So the driver cams today, if you guys were here last week for New Hampshire, the driver cams made their introduction, but today, unfortunately, we won't have those for you today. A couple of technical issues on that regard, but next week for Watkins Glen, they will be back, and I cannot wait for that because that was quite the blast. But Thomas Meeks going to come across the stripe here. Where is he going to finish? Currently P3. Does not improve on his lap time, Frankie. So, I mean, it seems like these boys are getting the best lap on their first lap out. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that could be, but I think what's really causing that is the engine temperature is not all that high on that first lap. So engine's running a little better because it is colder. So I think, these guys trying to set up, you see there that number 4 truck of Nick Lights. He's on the outside trying to get as much momentum as possible to set up his lap. So, that's right. I mean, there's a couple different approaches here. You can go off the jump. All you got to do is just ride the outside wall. Not ride it literally, kind of run the line that Nick Lights is running right now. And just dive down, especially out of the tri-oval, excuse me. And start your lap there, but you only get one shot.
That's right.
To get a timed lap. Now it could be slower, but you're not going to hit the fence, the wall, on if you are doing what Nick Lights is doing, you want to get as close to the wall as possible, but you don't want to, hit it, because if you hit it, you'll obviously get damage slowing you down. Especially at a track like this, you don't want any damage, period.
That's right. So Frankie, right now, I mean, obviously watching Charles Balance making his qualifying effort. We have 3 minutes away from the end of qualifying. A bunch of guys still out right here. Charles Balance, Josh Purcell, Mitch Edmond coming onto the track right now in that 65 badass machine, straight off of a top 3 finish last week. Hopefully he's gonna come out here and get that win. We'll see. But Frankie, the playoff bubble, we are so close to the playoffs. Next week, obviously, is the regular season finale at Watkins Glen. And we have a couple guys locked in. I mean, Mark Whitley, Nick Lights, Joseph Mealy, all locked in based on their wins. But that bubble's pretty tight. EJ Marshall, 29 points to the plus. Josh Larson, 8 points above. And McKenzie Jr., -8. Nick Biddy, -20. So at a place like this, Frankie, at the end of the regular season, anybody can win this race. So what's that mentality, if you're one of these drivers, what do you do?
Well, I would say if you're EJ Marshall and above, I think all you need is just to finish this race, maybe get some stage points to further lock yourself in, and all you got to do next week is show up and just run a smooth, consistent race over next week at Watkins Glen. If you are Josh Larson and Larry McKenzie Jr., I believe, you need to have stage points tonight. You need to run up front, and you need to get stage points. If you are Nick Biddy and below, you are kind of looking for a win at this point, especially if you are Justin Sorrell and below. You definitely need either a miracle to happen, or you need to find yourself up front. You need to do whatever you can to get to the front of the field and try to win this race. And like you just said, anybody can win this race.
That's right. One guy that I want to pay attention to close today is this 51 of Josh Larson. In everything he's run so far, the past 2 or 3 weeks, I feel like he has done very, very good, very fast. And I've got a feeling that he's going to put a show on for these boys here. So can't wait to see it. Right now, still on top is Mark Whitley with a 56.06. EJ Marshall came so close. Look at that nice zoom in with that camera work. Love that stuff. Go and check out Rice Equipment. Good guys over there. Michael Lanphier currently in P5. Thomas Meeks with the solid top 4 right now. Qualifying ends in 30 seconds. Only a couple guys out right now. Rob Hassan going to try and sneak one in at the end of this. That top 10, Frankie, so far looking pretty interesting. I mean, Mark Whitley up front, not surprised by that, but Thomas Meeks, Josh Purcell, Michael Lanphier, these boys got something for these top dogs, man.
Yeah, Talladega, one of the very few tracks where you can almost kind of put it as an equalizer. All you really need is just a little bit of teammate help here and there, and not even just teammate help. Just put yourself in the right spots, and just let it be.
That's right. Well, qualifying is over, and Mark Whitley will be your pole sitter today. Good spot. It's a catbird seat. I mean, staying out front of the mess is always something nice to see. It might be what it takes to get this win. Whitley going for his 4th win of the season. Nick Lights qualified P13. So right in the thick of things. He's also a 3-time winner right now, so a lot of these boys can try and make their way up to the front. But Mark Whitley, love to see it. So the grid for today. For the Harpoon Design Truck Series here at Talladega, the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200. P1 will be Mark Whitley. P2 is EJ Marshall. P3 is Josh Purcell. P4, Thomas Meeks. 5th is Michael Lanphier. P6 is Mitch Diamond. P7, Ryan Pisacco. Nicholas Simpson in P8. 9th is Joseph Mealy. Trevor Zalazny in P10. 11th, Josh Larson. 12th is Nick Biddy. P13 will be Nick Lights. Charlie Birch in P14. Larry McKenzie Jr. 15th. Clinton Woodby 16th. Anthony Williams 17th. Larry McKenzie 18th. Joe David 19. Melvin Young 20th. Chris Vanderplatz 21st. Charles Balance Sr., as it says, 22nd. 23rd will be Isaac Balsamo. 24th, Robert Hissong. Andrew McKenzie 25th. And rounding out the field, we can ignore Matthew Fleming. He's the juice truck. 27th will be John Wright. Did not qualify, just joined in to the session. So Gonna be pretty cool here, Frankie. I love Talladega. The fans love Talladega. These boys, keep in mind, we get one faster pair here. Normally, we don't do that on these in this particular league. So it's kind of nice, right? I mean, you get that one mulligan. You know, if a big one happens, you're not really out of the race, right? Especially knowing we have 2 races left to go in the regular season.
Yeah, it's almost like you're playing a round of golf and you shank one in the water and you're like, oh man, I wish I had the shot back. Well, you kind of do in this case with that one fast repair. So if you get taken out, if you're involved in a wreck, as long as you haven't used that fast repair, you can go down, get a completely brand new truck, and go out there and keep racing. Because as a race fan, I would love to see all the trucks just continue, and you know, nobody likes to see beat up equipment.
No, sir, they don't. Want to take a quick second just to thank the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. A couple of guys here. Nick Light's in the chat. Hold on now. He's in the car right now. He might be texting and driving, but Katie Balance says, go dad. Love y'all. Number 41, Charles Balance right now, starting 21st. Has some fans in there. Ryan Dunkelberger saying, go, yeah, I'm cheering for Flemdog. Nice. Bunch of guys here. Flemdog obviously is, I don't know if he's saying Flemdog the team or Flemdog the choose truck, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of the choose truck, Chris Vanderplatz, man, I'll tell you what, a couple weeks ago, Frankie, we saw in Iowa, we saw CVP, a lot of fans in the chat love CVP, hit the choose truck on a restart, and today is having some fun with it. Has in the front of his car. Let's see if we can get a good angle here. Hall of Fame inductee dunce hat for the choose truck. And also, as you see on the back of that truck, a big old cone. So having some fun with that. Actually, both drivers who are starting side by side, Charles Bounce and Chris Vanderplatz, who have hit the choose truck, are starting side by side. So pretty funny. Having a good time.
Some nice comedy gold there, but
it is.
I believe the track was Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
It wasn't Iowa. It was Kentucky.
All right. Well, excuse me. Frankie, right here, these boys are going to be starting off. Stage 1 is 15 laps. That's it. So
yeah,
what
really,
does that
really
mean?
Quick.
It's going to be a dash at this point, an absolute sprint. What can these boys do at the beginning of this stage?
Go as hard as you can. Try to get stage points. There's going to be all gas, no brakes for this first stage. And we'll see how it turns out. Let's see which line. What I want to know is which line is going to be more dominant, the bottom, the middle, or the very top?
It's true. We're about to find out. Mark Whitley leads them off. We are green for the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200 here at Talladega.
See right there, he immediately goes to the outside lane. Does not want that 57 of Josh Purcell behind him. Give him more energy to that top side.
That's right, Frankie. In this track, unlike Daytona, handling doesn't really play a huge factor here. It's pretty comfortable. So these boys are going to be able to like really just navigate their car or truck, I guess, in this case, pretty well. Not going to get loose. Tire wear shouldn't be a huge deal. Fuel is at 75%, unlike the normal 50%. So fuel strategy shouldn't really come into play. It's really all about the hardcore pack racing.
Yeah, I think that's why you see Mark Whitley jump into that outside. He doesn't want to worry about tire wear. You know, you never know. Maybe he thinks the bottom lane won't handle as well and just wants to get up to that outside lane. Truck and cars usually handle a little better the higher you go. As you see, Mitch Diamond right there, fourth in line, is going to pop out right in front of Josh Purcell and try to make his way towards the front.
It's a great push by Josh Purcell in that 57. Awesome job.
Yeah, good push, but it's only those two. Michael Lanfear not organized enough to try to keep that run going. See right there, top two on the outside lane, very organized. EJ Marshall trying to bump Mark Whitley out in front. And I know in the comment section, if I talk about energy, like where's the energy coming from? What I'm talking about there is how close everybody is together. And kind of imagine a rubber ball or a beach ball in the middle of these trucks, like in front of the nose and behind the trucks. So you want to pierce that kind of beach bubble, per se.
That's right.
And the closer you can get, the faster not only your line will go, but everybody else around you will go. And right there, we're already 3 wide. Already making a third lane. I believe these trucks can handle it. These trucks are a little bit better at handling than the cup cars.
Saw some bouncing right here back between Nick Lights, Charlie Birch. These guys are going to be careful. Stage 1 is very, very short, 15 laps. You got to get to the front. If you need stage points, if you're on that play a fumble, you have to get to the front right now.
And I think you see that's why people are trying that very upper groove. They're trying that third lane. Let's see what kind of grip does it have. Can you you know, go forward? Can you make moves with that? See right there, Joseph Mealy gonna try that third lane. He's gonna unfortunately get hung out a little bit there. You see, he's gonna jump up to the third lane with his teammate of Joseph Mealy.
That's right, Frankie. 3 wide racing. Are you surprised at all by that?
I'd say a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think this track is definitely a lot easier to ride 3 wide than Talladega and especially Atlanta. You know, you got 3 lanes, but they're pretty spaced out lanes, if you'd like to call them that.
That's
and
right.
You know, a lot of wiggle room for these drivers. You see a couple little different philosophies here. If you're up front, maybe if you're leading the pack in the lines, you're like, okay, just want to chill for a little bit. You know, maybe you try to make it to 5 laps to go or 4 laps to go, then start racing. You see everybody from, I believe that's Nick Biddy on back, they're just wanting stage points. Charlie Birch trying to really make that outside lane go. Unfortunately, he's not going to have much help with him.
No, sir. Some moves up front. Right now, Josh Purcell, Mitch Diamond still in that inside lane trying to make it work. Got to get that push from the third car back.
Absolutely. You see the outside lane is definitely better on the straightaway, but the inside line is better in the corner. So you see the bottom lane will gain about a 10th in the middle of the corner, and down the straightaway, the outside will be a little better. They're going to maybe gain that 10th back, maybe a little more. But it's all about organization. You were talking about Michael Lanford, not close enough. He's still not close enough, but he's definitely closer than Thomas Meeks in that third in line on the outside. So the inside's going to get a pretty good run here. Maybe Mitch Diamond might take the lead here in just a second.
Looks like it right now. They are trading back and forth, laps led. Mitch Diamond, Mark Whitley up top. Right now, you're seeing it. Mitch has that run right here. Lanphier, Pisacco. Down low, Josh Larson. Some good moves here.
Yeah, just that inside line, especially the first 4 or 5 cars, just a little more organized. In the top, you see EJ Marshall and Mark Whitley are organized, but everybody behind them just is not organized. But still, even that, EJ Marshall going to push Mark Whitley alongside that 65 truck of Mitch Diamond.
Doing such a good job. These boys are really keeping it clean right now. You love to see it going 3 wide, but it's a wide track. These trucks handle really well. It's good racing, Frankie, already. Stage 1.
Pretty good racing. Doesn't look like there's a lot of... I think everybody still is in this same pack, except for, it looks like one driver, maybe Isaac Balsamo, has gone a lap down early. Interesting to see what might have happened.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right here. Maybe he had to start from the pits, potentially. Maybe missed the actual start of the race, but we'll get more word on that later on for sure. But right now, we're on lap 7, Frankie, halfway until stage 1 ends.
You can definitely see the intensity picking up here. Guys getting a little more comfortable with each other. You know, it always feels like the first 5, 6, 7 laps are like, you know, whoever's in front of you, you almost want to feel them. You know, you want to see, do they move around a lot? Do they squirm, especially in the middle of the corner? Can you push them? Can you take a push from them? You know, it's all a little bit almost like how a boxer would approach a 12-round fight. You don't want to essentially use all your energy in the first three rounds of the fight.
I'll tell you what, Jonathan Wright right now in that 04, he's making it. He's bringing the fight to them. He is on the outside lane trying to make that work. Has some help from Charles Balance a little bit, but can't quite get any more help.
Yeah, just right there, just not enough help. I mean, I think they need at least a couple more cars up there. See Charlie Birch, maybe thought about it for a second. Maybe thought wiser, was maybe going to put a block on that 04.
That's right, CVP Racing right there, 18 and 21, back to back, side by side, front to back, whatever the word is. But they're working together. Back out front, nothing's changed. Both lines are staying the same. It's a drag race, Frankie, this entire time.
Yeah, just a stalemate right now. It's just, I'm telling you, the determination of this stage will come out as who's more in line, Michael Lanphier or Thomas Meeks. And right now, Thomas Meeks is not doing a very good job. About a truck length and a half off that 16 truck. Just not going to get the job done. Michael Lanphier is not doing the best job either, but he is at least doing a little bit of a better job than that 55 truck of Thomas Meeks. And you never know. Thomas Meeks maybe trying to just trying to make it to the end of this stage. Maybe just is okay with stage points. He is not locked in, but he is 65 points to the good. It's going to be really tough for him not to make it.
That's right.
Right there, Thomas Meeks doing a little bit better job. You see right there, it's the first 4 cars in each lane are kind of packed together. That outside lane.
EJ Marshall makes a dive down on the inside. Mark Whitley blocks. Super aggressive move on lap 10. Uh-oh, big wreck behind. Everyone keeps it going, no way. We're green, Frankie.
And looks like they saved it. Might have to take a look at that at the end of the stage, but now the energy has completely fallen off on the top because the 2 leaders went to the bottom.
That puts Thomas Meeks and teammate Trevor Zlasny on the outside lane. Nick Biddy, he's making a way up, Frankie. He's currently in P7. He needs these points for the stage. Currently sits 20 points out from the playoff bubble.
I'll tell you what, if you're leading a lane, if you're leading the outside or inside, the car you definitely want behind you is your teammate. And Thomas Meeks has that godsend in Trevor Zlasny. Right now, Charlie Birch trying to get 3 wide, and what that's doing is that is killing the outside lane. I think if you're in the back of this outside line, I wouldn't say you want to push it 3 wide. You obviously want to get as much points as you can, but it's going to be really hard, especially with 2 trucks, to make your way forward. I'd almost wait maybe a lap or 2 to try to make it work. Look at that, the outside lane a little bit more organized.
A little bit.
Oh, and I think I see that Charlie Birch just poked out a line that may kill the outside line. Thomas Meeks out in front all by himself.
Meeks has to make a move here. Does he go upside? Does he? Oh, hold on now. Oh, boy. Thomas Meeks tries to block the outside line. Oh, man, just kills that momentum, Frankie.
Yeah, I think that indecision first started when Trevor tried to block, and then Thomas tried to block, and that just got them both separated. Gave a big gift to Mark Whitley, EJ Marshall, and Mitch Diamond. So now that outside lane is completely falling apart.
That helps Nick Biddy right here in that 4th spot, or 5th spot, excuse me. Trying to get those stage points. There's 2 laps to go in stage number 1.
Got a couple lap trucks coming in the way of the leaders. It's going to be very interesting to see. Nick Biddy trying to push at 56 of Trevor Zlasny. He's also trying to get to that outside lane, the very outside lane with Nick Lights. There goes Mitch Diamond, gonna jump up in front.
Great moves by Mitch Diamond here, trying to steal the stage 1 away. Trevor Zlasny trying to sneak out. What is he doing? Oh no, big wreck. Right now, lap 14, the big one happens. So far we're green, not sure how. Looks like we're green, no caution on the track. Trevor Zlasny tried to make a bold move there on the outside, didn't make it work, paid the price hard. Mark Whitley out front in P1, EJ Marshall in P2. Frankie, this has turned upside down, but we are coming to the end of stage 1.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of stage 1 right now. It looks like the big winners are who was ever not involved in that wreck. And see what EJ Marshall's going to do. Is he going to push Mark Willie to that stage win? He's got a couple lap cars right in front of him. He's going to go for it. Yes, he's going to try to go for it, but unfortunately, does he have enough?
No, didn't get it.
No, not enough. You need to make that move a little earlier. Be interesting to see what happened. From what it looked like Trevor tried to go to the outside of Mitch Diamond. And maybe Mitch was a little late. Maybe Trevor just put himself in the wall. I don't know. It was very tough to see from the infield.
Very tough. But either way, stage 1 is complete. Mark Whitley wins stage 1. EJ Marshall P2, Josh Purcell P3. This helps a lot of guys. Nick Biddy P6 gets those great stage points. John Wright, Josh Larson, Thomas Meeks, and then Ryan Pasacco in P10. We're going to hit a quick commercial break. We'll come back and talk to our stage 1 winner, Mark Whitley. We'll be right back. All right, Frankie, so far we are back at Talladega for the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200. Real quick, we're going to talk to Mark Whitley in just a second. I want to recap this incident, that huge wreck that didn't bring out a caution, Frankie. Let's take a look at it. We're going to see Trevor Zelazny in the middle right here. He's going to go high, right in front of Nick Biddy. In just a second, tries to make a move. Yeah, right here. Goes on the outside. Mitch Diamond tries to kind of sneak in front of him too. And then Trevor just hits the wall, man. And I think Nick Lights might have been collected into this. Chris Vanderplat's right behind him. And unfortunately, a bunch of guys get tangled up, but everyone somehow keeps it straight. And we stay green.
It was very interesting to see there. I think Mitch tried to just get right in front of Trevor Zelazny, and just, I think Mitch knew at the last second that he wasn't going to make it, so he went left, and Trevor, trying to avoid, let's say, Mitch trying to go up into him, takes a little bit of a right, hits the wall, and unfortunately, when you're traveling at those speeds, you can't just check up right then and there. It's, you know, it's kind of just a accordion effect. You see Nick Lights checked up. The guy behind Nick Lights couldn't check up in time. I believe that was CVP of Chris Vanderplat's. So it's just kind of one of those things that can happen at a super speedway.
That's right. Well, right now, let's dial up Mark Whitley, stage 1 winner. Let's see if we can go and snag him real quick. Where's old Mark Whitley? There he is. Hold on now. Here he is. Mark Whitley. Hey, man. P1 in that stage 1 obviously was pretty hectic, side-by-side racing for the majority of it. A couple of big incidents that didn't bring out cautions, but at the end of the day, 15 laps in, you are stage 1 winner. How you feeling, man? What's it going to take to win this thing?
Well, it's Talladega, so going to need a rabbit's foot or 4-leaf clover or something else. But
your car's already green, so.
Yeah, hey, got hopefully a little bit of luck of the Irish, since St. Patrick's Day was a little while, last week or something. So I don't know. It's just my strategy for these races here at these plate tracks is just stay up front. Usually it's easier to avoid crashes if you're leading the pack. I mean, not always, but so just try to stay as far forward as I can. Hopefully they wreck behind me. I know there was a big wreck there with like 2 to go. So just more of the same, honestly, just trying to stay out of trouble and hope it goes green, and hopefully we're not in a wreck.
Alrighty, well, good stuff, man. Congrats again for P1. Choose truck is right now. We'll catch you at the end of this thing, man. Good luck.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, Frankie. So there it is. Mark Whitley leading stage 1, doing pretty well right there. Matt Fleming, the choose truck, is going on. A lot of these guys, Frankie. So here's another thing too that we don't always see, right? I mean, obviously strategy normally is a factor in our races as far as fuel or tires or whatnot. But in a race like this, a strategy to consider is when do you use your fast repair? Because a lot of guys involved in that wreck right there, right? They don't want to use it right now because maybe another wreck will happen later, right? That might take them out for good.
Yeah, I've always been, if ever there is a concern about fast repairs, I've always been the kind of guy to like to save until you absolutely need to. I would honestly say, if you really need to use a fast repair, then you got to use it. But if you don't really need to, and it didn't look like any of those trucks involved in those 2 incidents on lap 10 and lap 14, really, it didn't look like they needed it. Like, sure, they're probably going to be a little bit hurt, but it's better than the alternative. I would say, honestly, just save your fast repair. If anything else happens that you absolutely need that fast repair, then you got it. But if you use it now and something happens later and you don't have it, then that's really going to hurt you for the rest of the race.
Yes, sir. One quick update, too. Breaking news. A quick word on Nick Simpson. He's actually... I can't, it's too funny. It says things are turning around, actually, to a sluggish season. He had a one-word response, Tinder. So the king is back, boys and girls. It's from the chat. So Nick Simpson, he's single and ready to mingle. Maybe that's what you have to be fast.
I
think that's the energy, Frankie, you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I think that was maybe the energy, the simp energy, or maybe single energy. Was that cringe?
Maybe it's all right though.
Okay, we'll move on to a different type of energy then. The energy of these trucks, man. I haven't really raced the trucks a lot. I must admit, but the most I've raced them is here at this racetrack, and you wouldn't believe the amount of energy that goes into the aero and whatnot, and what you can do to better yourself in a truck race.
That's right. Well, Frankie, here we are. Stage 2. Josh Purcell leads him off. Did not pit in that round. Same thing with Thomas Meeks. It would look like 21 laps to go. Lap 40 will be our next stage.
I'll tell you what, that was really close for Josh Purcell. Looked like he just barely.
Look at this field, Frankie. What are we doing? Whoa, EJ Marshall way off the track here. What's going on? I think he wants to get back to the pack, maybe?
That could be why. That could be. He just wants to maybe just ride it out a little bit. I'll tell you what, on that restart, it's going to be really interesting what race control does, because it looked like Josh Purcell maybe moved a tad bit too early and had a lane change. Maybe a tad bit, not too much.
Not good.
Well, that's not good. You'd never want to put yourself in the hands of race control.
That's true.
Yeah, honestly, it has no disrespect to race control. It's just you'd rather try to, put everything in your control.
It's a great point.
Either way, I mean, Mark Whitley just back up front. Even on super speedways, he finds his way to the front, and even he's gone on record said he hates super speedways.
Oh yes, he does. I'll tell you what. One guy who loves them so far. Mitch Diamond, Michael Lanphier on the outside lane don't look as smooth as I would like them to be right now. But look at this, Frankie. I mean, ABR. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outside lane.
Yeah, that's what you want. Ooh, Mark Whitley trying to put a block. Does not work. That outside line just powering down the straightaway. And that's exactly what you want. You want your team to be right next to each other as... Well, it's interesting. They left Michael Lanphier out to dry.
Interesting.
Maybe they want control of both lines.
It would seem like, but I think Mike also knows that, hey, Mark Whitley is fast. If I stay in front of him, I might have a chance here.
Yeah, absolutely. And where is Lanphier on the... Okay, so Michael Lanphier is 35 points to the good. So obviously, I wouldn't say he doesn't need a win, but I think he would love a win right now. And kind of just wouldn't even have to worry about next week.
I mean, Frankie, this is one of those races where it can set up your playoffs so well. A lot of these guys are so hungry. They want their first win in the league. They want their first win in this truck series. And this is the perfect time to make it happen.
Yep. I mean, there's usually no perfect time for anything, but I'll tell you what, you're spot on right with perfect on here. Because honestly, I mean, there's only been 3 different winners this season. So the stage points haven't really been distributed as much, I would say. So if you get a win, that's 5 extra points that you can start off with, and you never know. 5 points is 5 positions.
Oh, Mitch Diamond gets real loose right there. His teammate hits him, I think pushed him in the corner just a little bit, but an awesome save. They got to get realigned right there.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt that outside lane. You see right there, great shots from our camera guy. But man, you saw as soon as he got loose, he tried to get back up in line. His teammates let him in. But the problem with that is that's going to check up everybody behind you, and that's going to kill the energy on that outside lane. You see right there, they lost about 5 truck lanes by doing that, and they're going to try to make their way forward again. But it looks like they will. Some really good organization for the first 3.
Good stuff right here. Hey, chat, real quick, thank you for being here. Our viewership right now is amazing, so we thank you for just being here and being a part of the community. We just asked that, hey, you know what, like the video, just subscribe if you like what you see. It helps. I think we're at like 222. We're trying to get 250 in the next couple of races. Brand new channel here, and honestly, great show we're putting on right here today, so we appreciate you guys for sure. Right now, Mitch Diamond still out front, Frankie. I'll tell you what, he's looking pretty good here. Next to, Mitch Diamond, EJ Marshall, who kind of dominated that first stage. Mitch Diamond knows how to get it done.
Yeah, he definitely knows how to get it done. Season 2 at Dega, I believe he probably was the dominant car of Season 2 in Wheels America. And even that whole team, ABR, they just have a knack for super speedway racing.
Yeah, let's talk about Season 2's Talladega race, Frankie, for a second in Cup. I vaguely remember that race. Just good memories. Not sure who won, but I'm sure he was really good looking. But back up front, Michael Lanphier. I'll tell you, like I said earlier, that 13 truck, he wanted to get in front of Mark Whitley. I think he knew what he was getting himself into. Mark Whitley's fast. He knows how to navigate this. As Josh Purcell goes into the middle lane, that's not going to work. He's going to get freight trained hard right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say something about Josh Purcell. He was doing such a good job, but now he's caught in the sucker hole, as we like to call it. Maybe Thomas Meeks can back up for him.
Do we call it that? The sucker hole?
No, that's what DW calls it.
Oh, so. DW?
Good old Darrell Waltrip. But man, doing that, I mean, it probably is going to help. It is going to help Josh Purcell a little bit, but it kills that inside line.
Frankie, I don't know where Chris Vanderplaat's got that run, but he is pushing Josh Purcell single-handedly right now.
Yeah, and that 21 truck has nose damage too.
Unbelievable.
And rear damage to the look of it, but I'll tell you what, Chris Vanderplaat has some help.
Charles Bounce on the wall.
Not good for that very outside line, the upper outside line, as we'll call it.
Oh boy, 3 wide right here. Ooh, they're trying to go 3 wide. Larry McKenzie trying to make that middle line work. Andrew McKenzie. Family on the middle lane. Josh Larson trying to make it work. Josh Purcell, man, he can't decide. He's trying to go for the outside or inside lane, trying to block those or get in front, but second time now, can't quite get it done.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy from Josh Purcell. There goes Mitch Diamond, going to get to that inside line.
Man, leaves his teammates. Unbelievable. I don't know why I said it like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
that inside line, or not the inside line, the middle line, even with 2 cars, can work. I'll tell you what, it could work. And Josh Purcell has proven it right there. I think right there, he's getting the side draft on Chris Vanderplatz. Oh, Mitch Diamond gonna maybe go to the
Rob Song. Some contact there on the outside lane, but no harm, no foul. They keep it going.
Yeah, not gonna be well for that outside lane, that way outside lane. I don't even know why I said that either. It's too, Steve.
Way. It's all right.
Well,
Mark Whitley falling back to P12, P13. I think he's realizing what's happening up front and wants to kind of just chill. Even though he says he wants to be up front, I think these guys are getting pretty racy up front here. At the end of 13 laps to go until stage 2 ends.
yeah, it's about 12 cars, or 12 trucks, excuse me, underneath a blanket. And especially with, Michael Lanfair, Chris Vanderplatz, I believe Larry McKenzie's Jr., they all need to be up front. They
That's
can't
right.
just sit around in 16th where Mark Whitley is and, kind of just chill and ride. They can't do that. They have to get stage points. They gotta give themselves a better chance if they do not win this race for next week at Watkins Glen, which is also a wild card in and of its own self.
Yeah. Well, we are 2x2 all the way back for a while. A couple of guys in the back of the pack holding it strong. Charlie Birch right now, some big damage, just to cover him real quick. Anthony Williams, again, also big damage. I think they're just riding it out. Honestly, I mean, they probably have their fast repair left. So, you know what? They're saying, hey, maybe stage 2, the end of stage 2, we'll fix it, and then we'll see what happens. I don't think they're out of this race yet. The second pack has formed right here. Trevor Zlasny leading that pack with Nick Lights, Joseph Mealy. Cannot forget about these guys. They will be players by the end of this thing. That's the advantage, Frankie, of knowing that stage 2 is coming. A caution will be happening in 10 laps, and these guys are going to get right back to the front of it. So nothing to worry about for this pack right here.
Yes, all those 5 drivers just have to do is stay single file, just run as quick as the leaders, and just, if they have damage, try to fix that damage, and try to compete for the end of this race.
That's right. Same thing, I think, with these boys right here. Melvin Young. We have Clinton Woodby. Excuse me. Again, Mark Whitley has fallen back. I think a lot of these guys, EJ Marshall, you see, they're just chilling. They got stage 1 points. They don't necessarily need more stage points, and they're just going to go for the win. They're going to stay in the back and not get into any more problems.
And I see AJ Marshall on the apron. Maybe going to go a little bit further back, but from 3 lanes, it has turned into 2. Right now, the middle line has the advantage. Ooh, John Wright gets a little tight off the corner. That's going to help the inside line a little bit.
That's right. Now keep in mind, Frankie, the playoff picture, right? So Trevor Zlasny, Mitch Diamond, Jonathan Wright, Thomas Meeks, these guys are all good to go. I mean, points-wise, they're pretty well fine to make it into the playoffs on points. Clinton would be. Michael Lanfair is plus 35. He needs maybe some points to feel really good about it entering Watkins Glen, but overall, pretty solid. EJ Marshall, Josh Larson. EJ Marshall's at this point with his stage 2 or stage 1 points, feeling pretty good about his chances. But like Josh Larson, McKenzie Jr., Bailey Purcell, these are the guys we have to see up front. And Purcell's the only one really that's making it work.
All right. Oh!
Rob, his song, Yellow Flag is out. Big spin in turn 3. Man.
Oh, I would try to stay on the apron if I were you.
He was right by his teammates.
That could have been big.
Man. Not sure what happened there, but that brings out the second caution, our first caution for incident on lap 32. Let's go back and take a look at that. That's pretty crazy how that, to your point, Frankie, did not bring out a yellow.
Well, I did bring out a yellow, but
yeah,
only one car. That is crazy here. Great job by Rob Hissong.
Try and get a better look here.
Oof. Just comes off the bumper of Charles Valance. Maybe maybe Charles. You see right there, Charles just pokes out a line. He's pushing him, then pokes out a line while pushing him and trying to get back to the right. Just turns.
Yep.
Rob his song. Nothing Rob can really do, but tell you
Yep.
what, a good job by everybody else trying to avoid it, and good job, especially to Rob his song for keeping it a one-car incident.
And I think too, I mean, Rob's truck doesn't look that bad. I think he'll be honestly pretty fine to go. I mean, we still have 8 laps to go until stage 2 concludes, so no need to use that fast repair. Luckily, the inside lane wasn't quite caught up when he slid right across, so unfortunate for him, but definitely going to be okay with that. Let's ride on board if we can. I want to take a look at someone's in-car camera here. Let's ride on board Josh Purcell here as this happens. Whoops. Let's try that again.
Woo! Yeah, that's as close to an underwear changing point as you can get.
It is. Close, but I mean, what do you do here, Frankie? I mean, obviously, you know, fuel is not so much a concern here because of the 75%, you know, fuel cap. So, I mean, if you're one of these leaders, I mean, Mitch Diamond, John Wright, Charles Ballance, again, in P3, doing a great job, obviously, you know, caused that wreck. He might, big question mark, might be given that EOL, but can't quite tell that yet. But either way, looking pretty strong. I mean, do you take tires now? Do you come down? Do you pit now and then not pit at the end of stage 2 is really what I'm trying to say.
Well, I would say in regards to Charles Ballance, it looks like he will not get the EOL.
Okay.
Because that juice truck is out there, and I will say, he's looking pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't look like he has any marks yet. Cross your fingers.
No.
But, I mean, you know, just, you know, at the end of the day, that's racing. You know, Charles is just trying to help Rob out.
Right.
And just makes a simple mistake that's really easy to do in these trucks. Just gets too much to the left and just turns them. You know, nothing that anybody else hasn't done before.
That's right. Quick shout out to harpoondesign.com for their amazing designs. Brantley over there does a great job as doing paints, all kind of paints for us, and puts the name on the Truck Series banner as title sponsor. Love them. Really appreciate all that they've done. As you can see, this amazing paint done by them for the Choose truck. Really cool work by them. Really pretty fun. You know, it's just one of those fun things, but love to see it. So right now we're going to hit a quick commercial break. It looks like we're going to have one more lap of yellow until we go back green. We're going to have 6 laps to go until at the end of stage 2. Let's hit some sponsors and thank them for their support. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back here at the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200 at Talladega for the Harpoon Design Truck Series. One quick word about Diamond Rodent Proofing. We have Andrew McKinsey here on track with that amazing Diamond Rodent Proofing paint scheme right there. I believe also done by Harpoon Design, so go and check them out. But Diamond Rodent Proofing is a pest control company based out of the San Francisco Bay Area. So if you're around that area, if you're anywhere on the West Coast, go check them out. Estated back in 2016 and has over 17 years of experience. They provide free estimates on solving all rodent problems: rats, mice, raccoons, skunks, squirrels, birds, etc. They are a poison-free company and provide 10% military and senior discounts. All work is backed by their exclusive warranty. Diamond has eradicated over thousands of homes, making the world a better place one house at a time. Love to hear it. Go check them out, diamondrodentproofing.com. You can find them on Yelp, Nextdoor, Google, etc. And Diamond was #1 best pest control company in the East Bay area this year. So love to see that. Go check them out. We thank Andrew for his support, family-owned business. So if you call them, you're probably going to get Andrew when he's not racing. So great to see. Back up front, we're going to go back green. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Mitch Diamond going to lead him back off. We are at lap 35. We have 5 laps to go, Frankie, until the end of stage 2.
Yeah, these boys are going to get pretty aggressive here. I can see it. It's almost like Dale Sr. seeing the air, as if you would like to call it.
A lot of shakers right here before they get to full song. You saw Josh Larson making a big move right here on the outside. You're going to try and get the stage points. He needs them.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of teammate help too. That's his teammate of Thomas Meeks. But man, just not working out. Just seems like that middle line just seems to be the better of the outside lanes.
That's right. And Frankie, keep in mind too that we are within 5 laps now of the stage. So if a caution comes out, that is the stage end right there. So it's kind of like that green, white, checkered, energy, right? You got to be in position in case the yellow comes out. And right now it's go time, even with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple bubble watches here as Larson and Larry McKenzie are right next to each other, and they are 8 points apart. So right now, give the edge so far to Larry McKenzie in the 00, fourth on the inside. I'll tell you what, the organization on the bottom lane needs to be a little better to be able to go in front of that middle line.
Josh Larson right now getting no help.
Yeah, just falling back. Tried that outside lane. Joe David went there for a split second, but nothing anymore.
Three laps to go on stage number 2.
And now the top 3 on the outside lane, a little better organized. But man, Thomas Meeks, the 4th car in line, needs to be more organized. He's leaving at least a truck. He's got to get closer.
That's right. Frankie, different players here for stage 2. We saw EJ Marshall and Mark Whitley dominate stage 1, but right now it's a whole different cast of characters here.
And it looks to be ABR, Josh Purcell, and also Chris Vanderplaat's kind of throwing his name in the ring. We're coming to 2 laps to go. Will the help be there for Josh Purcell, or will the help be there for Mitch Diamond?
That's right. Keep in mind, Josh Purcell was negative 21 points before this race. If he wins this stage, that's 10 free points right there to try and make his way in.
Yep, absolutely. Josh Purcell, I'll tell you what, this is the guy that needs to win this stage. Not only for a playoff one, but just to even get those stage points in general. Needs to better himself for next week, and even tonight. It's right there. You see a third lane starting to form.
We're getting crazy. They know it, man. A lap and a half to go in stage number 2.
Yeah, now that third lane. Yeah, that third lane now has some help. Looks like the 6, the 32, and the 46. Ooh, Michael Lamphere thought about going up there. Just doesn't see they have a run yet. White flag to the end of the stage. Got 1 lap to go.
Here we go right now, side by side, Josh Purcell, Mitch Diamond. Who's going to get that stage 2 win and going to come talk to us? Right now, Mitch Diamond and John Wright have been looking really, really good so far in this stage number 2. But Josh Purcell, he has got playoff hopes on his mind.
Oh, Josh Purcell a little indecisive.
That third line, Frankie, they're right there.
Yeah, they're there, and it looks like Mitch is clear of all 3 lines. That third line dropping back a little bit.
Mitch has to block if that second line comes through.
No, it doesn't seem like they have enough energy. It looks like John Wright is doing everything right. Look at Josh Purcell coming back.
It's a drag race. Oh, no. Big hit from Mitch Diamond on his roof. Oh, my word. Mitch Diamond gets spun up by his teammate Jonathan Wright, but gets the stage win. Unfortunately, has a blown engine. Will be able to use that fast repair, but he is out.
Yeah, I would say that's not going to do any good. He had to tow right there, and well, I mean that's not normally what you would see here at a super speedway. But,
no, let's go back and look at that real quick. Let's go back even further just to really make sure we get that. Oh, we gotta go way back. Okay, hold on now. Yeah, you can just see, I mean, JD just gets right into him, and then looks like JD did the same thing and just spun off, and man.
Yeah, I think JD initially turns Mitch Diamond, but then he slows down because there could be a caution, but he just slows down, jams on the brakes, and Charles Balance behind him, just nowhere for him to go.
Oh man.
Tell you what, that's not how you want to end your stage 2.
That's not going to be one for the fridge, Frankie. But either way, stage 1 winner. We'll talk to him in just a second. This ought to be interesting. But folks, we're going to go talk to our sponsors real quick and thank them. We'll be right back. We'll talk to Mitch after this. All right, we are back here for, man, Talladega. Crazy, crazy race so far for the Harpoon Design Truck Series. The Diamond Rodent Proofing 200. A lot of guys pitting right now. We're going to bring in Mitch Diamond in just a second. Want to talk to him about his stage 2 win and then his unfortunately huge wreck crossing the line. But right now, Josh Purcell looks like he is going to be coming up first. So good to see. Let's dial up Mitch Diamond real quick. Let's bring him in. This should be
this might be an interesting interview.
Hey man, Mitch Diamond right now. If you got me, Frankie and Steve in the booth.
Gotcha.
Hey dude, well hey, awesome job so far in this race. I mean, looking really, really solid, you know, stage 1, stage 2, obviously 1, stage 2. But what happened at the end of that checkered the stripe? That was rough to watch.
The 41 was pushing the 04. He pushed him right into me, so all 3 cars made contact, and it just sent mine to the left, and that was it. Got a fast repair on me, but I had a 5-minute tow.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I guess that's the good news. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you know, entering the race, you know, you were a plus 113 points entering you know, this race for the playoff bubble, so you're probably fine. I think that's probably fair to say, especially with that stage 2 win. But obviously trying to go out there and get your first Harpoon Design Truck Series win, gonna be an uphill battle, I think, at this point for you. But I mean, obviously with the yellows that may or may not come out, this could work into your favor. So good luck rest of the way, man, and hopefully we'll see you there.
I told the 04 I was going to win the race, so if I can't, he better go do it.
Woo, okay. Love the energy. Well, hey man, good luck the rest of the way, and we'll see you at the end of this thing.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Frankie. Well, hey, 5-minute tow. That's not good. That's the unfortunate thing. I mean, you have that, fast repair, obviously, but I mean, to be able to, have to tow. Luckily, it's under caution, so you're not going to lose a lot of, time. And luckily for him, this is Talladega, our biggest track we go to, at 2.66 miles. So there's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance. I think he's going to need at least a couple cautions. I believe he'll probably be about 2 or 3 laps down. But with a brand new truck, he will still compete. He's just honestly all he's got to hope for is a couple wrecks here and there, because it looks like nobody else is a lap down. Doesn't look like, yeah, nobody else is a lap down. Currently, he is 2 laps down, and a yellow here, a yellow there. If nobody goes a lap down, then he's right back in this thing.
That's right. Very, very doable. Unfortunately, blew the engine and. Man, rolled that thing, but at the end of the day, very doable. We're going to come to the choose truck right now.
I think they already chose.
They already chose. All right. Good to see. That's right. We are one to go right now. So Josh Purcell, Larry McKenzie, and that 00 out front. I'll tell you what, if anybody, Frankie, in this bottom half of the playoff bubble, Larry McKenzie Jr., Nick Biddy, Josh Purcell, Matt Smith, who actually isn't here, unfortunately, but Justin Sorrell. I mean, man, like if any of these guys, have a crazy. Actually, Sorrell isn't even here either, so that's going to be a huge playoff burst, I guess. But a couple of these guys, I mean, they can get their first win and lock themselves into the playoffs. Right now, in these next 40 laps.
Absolutely, the top 10 has some interesting names. You have obviously up front Josh Purcell, right now currently below the cut line. Larry McKenzie Jr. also below the cut line. Mike Lamphere hasn't won a race in the truck or the Cup Series, standing about 35 points ahead of the cut line, but would love a win. Nick Biddy below the cut line by 20 points. Joe David, who isn't even on the panel for the graphic, he would love a win. Thomas Meeks, he's 65 points. Clinton Woodby, he's about 48 points above the cut line. Rob Hissong, same thing with Joe DeVee, isn't even on the graphic. Same thing with Isaac Balsamo in 10th place, not even on the graphic.
That's right. Frankie, right here. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Amazing restart on the inside lane right there, but maybe too big.
Yeah, right now that outside line looks extremely formed up. Right there, Nick Biddy choosing to bail. Everybody bailing on that 00 of McKenzie, but look at that, Joe David.
Oh man, look at him.
Joe David gonna have some help from his teammate.
That's right,
Nick Biddy.
I'll tell you what, if any one of these boys gets their first win, they're gonna be. This is an interview you want to watch out for.
Yeah, they're in the right spots. They're both leading the lines. Josh Purcell, Joe DeVee. That's where you want to be.
That's right.
That inside just looks to have a little more fire.
That's right. Well, Frankie, these boys are up to speed. You know what time it is. Bring the Noise, sponsored by Harpoon Design. Let's get it. Frankie, so far, unbelievable racing right now. Oh, it's a big caution comes out. Isaac Balsamo, cars in the wall. Oh, my word, what's going on here? Big wreck as we come back from Bring the Noise. Isaac Balsamo, Nick Simpson, Charles Balance. Man, oh man. Joseph Mealy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. The first car I saw sideways was that green truck of Isaac Balsamo. Just a little radio chatter going on.
Okay, we're gonna have to go way back.
Hit.
Oh wow.
Big hit for Joseph Mealy. He's definitely gonna have to use a fast repair if you can try to get that truck rolling.
Let's go back
Another decent hit.
Just a ways away on board. Okay, we have to go back even way further. Okay. So right now they're going to go 3 way behind him. Oh, it actually starts off. Hold on. Nick Lights makes a pretty bold move there. Let's see if we can go back even further just to see how this develops.
You said Nick Lights, black and white truck looking to go through the middle.
He has a huge run right here, but Isaac I think get nudged by Anthony Williams there in the 5. And then, oh man, just makes a mess right behind.
And everybody on the outside lane just nowhere to go behind Chris Vanderplatz. Chris Vanderplatz skated through, but has some right side damage with the wall.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
it just looked like Nick Lights had such a run, and Isaac just didn't see him. Like he just didn't see him. And it's so easy for that, because if you're looking,
it's right on board. Jonathan Wright right here.
yeah, this would be a good onboard. Folks, that is exactly what he sees. He has no idea what's happening in front of him.
Man, he avoided that entire mess.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of front damage. He's got to watch his temps and his gauges. But folks, if you're ever like, why is everybody from the back of the pack piling in and not slowing down? That is exactly why. You see from the driver's view, just cannot see anything. First thing he saw anything related to that was Nick Simpson sideways. And after that, there's just nothing he can do at that point. And, it's a tough break. A couple of those guys, if they haven't used their fast repairs, they're going to have to.
That's right.
Joe David, Nick Biddy, teammates up front working together.
Catbird seat for these boys right here. Low Line Motorsports looking great. Joe David, Nick Biddy. Nick Biddy, we can't forget. Nick Biddy, in the Cup side, granted, finished second, Frankie, at Daytona. So this man knows how to get it done. Joe David, Josh Purcell, Mike Lanfear, Larry McKenzie Jr., Clinton Woodby, Anthony Williams. This whole top 7, Frankie, has never won before in any of our series in the ASRA. And, if they won this race today, that would be incredible. Mark Whitley, kind of that shark right there in P8. You got to watch out for him, but there's a lot of guys here hungry for their first win.
Absolutely. I believe it's 15 out of the top 16 have never won in the Harpoon Designs Truck Series. 15 out of the 16, I believe.
Yes, sir.
You gotta go all the way back to Nick Lights in 17th, who has won, and obviously Mark Whitley has also won. But some very interesting names, and a big wild card is Talladega. It just proves that once again.
That's right, and we are 30. We'll be at 30 laps to go to go to the end of this thing, Frankie. That's going to be crazy. 30 laps, basically a sprint, but it's insane. Here's one thing too. Do we know if they can go the rest of the way on fuel? That's going to be a big question mark.
I don't believe so. I know for the Cup side, 50% is about 17, 18 laps. Now, obviously, we're running with 75% fuel. So my guess is the guys that just pitted, because there was about a good number of them that just pitted, they will be close. I think they'll be about a lap or 2 short, maybe 3 laps short in trying to make it. Everybody else that stayed out, I think they're hoping for a caution in about maybe 5 laps.
That's right.
Caution happens in 5 laps. There's no indecisive anything. They know they got to come down and get fuel. And we'll see what happens. I mean, again, half the field I would say pitted, so maybe half the field will kind of just stay on the bottom and just simply just ride 60% throttle and try to save that fuel. But it's gonna be interesting.
It's a great point. Right now, while we're under yellow, we have about 75% of a lap to go until we go back green here to wrap up this race. Let's hit a quick sponsor. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back here at the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200. Really excited to see how this plays out. A lot of guys here in the top 7, top 10 really have never won before. Obviously, some guys still looking for wins. Mark Whitley, adding them to the totem pole there of wins they have. Nick Lights, Joseph Mealy trying to get those wins, multiple wins on the season. But right now, man, a lot going on, Frankie. Some word real quick. Joseph Mealy actually out of the race, according to our scoring system. So we'll make sure and find out if that's actually true or not. But so far, great time.
Yeah, doing a great timing. I'll tell you one storyline. Mitch Diamond, because of that caution, only one lap down now. He is in the free pass position.
Here we go. Green flag in the air.
Tell you what, that's the perks of having teammates working together. That 32 truck and that 6 truck just telling each other when to go, when to push, when not to push. Makes a big difference. I believe we have, when we get a chance, Steve, we have somebody in the infield care center. Should try to get a word. I believe it's Nick Simpson, who might be out of the race. Unfortunately, the Simp Energy, as one of our viewers has,
It struck.
it definitely the Simp Energy did not work, unfortunately.
Let's bring him in and get a quick word. Nick Simpson in the 46 Infield Care Center, man. How's it going?
Got caught up in that pretty bad. Somehow the fast repair got used. So just sitting here for a while now.
Unfortunate, man.
Yeah, that can happen from time to time. Tell us about your race so far and how you thought you were doing.
Yeah, we were just sitting back with Lowline Motorsports, Biddy, Joe David. It's going pretty good, trying to keep my nose clean, but it's going pretty good until that mess happened. Everyone was doing pretty good, but trying to pick the lines and people slipping into the middle there, it's tough.
Yeah, it's absolutely tough. But how was drivability from your side? And did you feel like you had a truck capable of winning this race?
Yeah, I mean, we were trying to push at the end of that stage 2 there on the outside with David and Biddy. Made a good run there, so I thought we had 3 fast trucks, and we were just sitting there trying to team up, and I think I got kind of lost on the second pit there. Got tossed to the back, and you just get gobbled up sometimes. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we all wish super speedway racing wasn't. Just it's a game of chance. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. But unfortunately, it has been a curse for you tonight, Nick Simpson. But hopefully, hopefully you're doing okay. And till next week, we want to see you up at the front.
Yeah, I got a lot of people watching out there, so thanks for tuning in. A lot of people observing, cheering me on, stuff like that. I know we got just kind of bummed, couldn't show out for them. Got caught up in some traffic there. But...
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, Nick, and we'll see you next week.
All right, take care, boys.
Alrighty, Nick Simpson right there, but out front, we have a lot going on. 3 wide, Frankie, for the lead here. Woo.
Yeah, it's getting a little racy here, and right now, up on the outside lane, leading is, I don't know how we haven't talked about this guy at all. It's Ryan Pasoko. I don't know how we haven't talked about him today. He's just been kind of, he's been kind of just really quiet. Tries to jump in line to Josh Purcell, and now leading that outside line is that 4 truck of Nick Lights.
Yes, sir. A lot going on right here. Back up front, Joe David still making it work. His teammate Nick Biddy, that third line, not quite making it work like he wants to, but looking pretty good still.
Yeah, I think what really kind of messed that third lane up was when Pasoko originally got to that middle line, and in doing so kind of broke up that energy a little bit. Right there, Nick Lights is going to make a move to the inside of him, and that's going to kind of leave Pasoko out there to left to dry. And Nick Biddy and Joe Dave.
Oh
Joe
boy,
David.
Hold on. Thomas Meeks, Ryan Pasoko, Mark Whitley may be involved, can't quite tell yet, but yellow flag is out.
And it's going to be interesting to see. I know Mitch Diamond was around there in that pack. Wonder if he did not get involved. I believe he's going to be right back on lead lap. Yep, just happened right behind Mitch Diamond, and Thomas Meeks getting sideways. Don't know what happened. Maybe got turned.
Nothing really to see yet. Right now he's down below. Oh, Ryan Pasoko just comes down. So that 3 truck kind of just comes down into Robert Hissong. We'll look at it again, but man, like what? Yeah, we'll see it kind of back here. Yeah, just kind of comes left. Maybe doesn't think that his song in that middle lane was there, but yeah, unfortunately, Doors the 8 gets into the 55. Looks like he collects Melvin Young.
Yeah, just nothing that Melvin Young can do. Maybe he could have gone to the apron, but nothing that really Thomas could do to try to avoid that. And if Thomas Meeks does have a fast pair, I think he'll be okay. But it just looked like Ryan Pasoko just tried to get in that middle line, or just tried to side draft and just got down too far and collected Robert's song. I believe it could have been his fast repair used. I know who this absolutely helps. This helps Mitch Diamond. I don't know why, but I just said, a couple cautions. If he doesn't get involved in it, it's going to help him big time. And guess what? A godsend comes down and helps Mitch Diamond. He's going to be back in lead lap with a shot at winning this race with a brand new truck. Absolutely, anything can happen. It looks like everybody is pitting except for a 4 truck of Nick Lights. So now everybody knows they can go to the end on fuel. They're taking this opportunity to go down and get their fuel, be good for the end. So looks like Joe David wins the race off pit road. Michael Lamphere getting in front of Nick Biddy. Yeah, got a couple cars out of the race, but one car who is also out of the race is is multiple laps down, Charles Balance. He is in the infield care center. You want to talk to him, Steve?
And just one of those Talladega deals. Got caught up. It's unfortunate. I want to thank Young's Auto Center for being on board all year. It's just been a tough season. We just we'll go to Watkins Glen. I love that place. One of my favorite road courses. So hopefully I can do something there. Hey guys, I appreciate it. Want to thank all my family out there watching for your support. Thank you.
Yeah, that was some background. Yeah, a lot can happen. Even some background noise of somebody falling to their death can happen. Just so you know, that is not what is happening. There's already. I'm not going to even try to make this even more cringe than it actually is. So let's move on. Yeah, big race, big wins. Who can secure the big win? I should say. Got a couple guys up at the front who I would say are almost desperate for a win. Yeah, just a couple guys just not having the nights they want. You were just saying Nick Simpson, Isaac Balsamo, Charles Valens. We just talked to just a minute ago. But it happens. Super Superior Racing is really just it's just a bunch. It's at the end of the day, it's all chance. At the end of the day, and some say it sucks, some say it's awesome, some just really just know how to run a super speedway race. Some people just really know how to manipulate the draft. Some people just don't know how to do that. And, especially if you see a couple guys, like you always know how Dale Sr. and Dale Jr. always found their way towards the front at Talladega or Daytona. Like there's an art to it that just some people just know how to master. Well, I can tell you what he can do and what he's doing already. I mean, he's right now out in front. And he's doing everything he can. He's just got to get the help from behind. And right now, right now he doesn't have his teammate behind him, which is a little bit of a worry. At the end of the day, you want your teammate behind you, and he doesn't have a teammate behind him, but he does have, I think, someone he can trust in Michael Lamphere. And it's just, again, you never know if Michael Lamphere has been behind Joseph Devine, and you never know if Joseph Devine has been in front of Michael Lamphere all race long. So these guys are trying to feel each other out for the last 20 laps of this race. And right there in the top 5, just again, it just looks like the top line, especially the first 3 cars, are just a little more organized, keeping that energy. As the bottom lane, it seems like the first 2 are doing a good job, but Nick Biddy just slacking a little bit. Behind Biddy is Anthony Williams slacking a little bit, and I believe another teammate of Joseph David right there, the inside line, gonna pull ahead as there's a 3rd lane forming, and look who it is, the ABR trio. Oh, Joseph David got a little sideways there, and maybe try to throw a block. Doesn't happen. And Joseph David got really loose on the bottom lane. And Josh Purcell, very tight squeeze right in front of Joseph David. Yeah, right now it is go time for these drivers, and they're doing everything they can to try to get to the front. Oh, that's. Yeah, Rob Hassan almost on that left rear of Jonathan Wright as well. Tell you what, these boys are pushing hard, and it's only 19 to go. We got to survive another 19 laps of this. Tell you what, that 3rd line starting to form a little more. I saw another car jump to the way outside line. Looks like that's Nick Lights. Another one. That's Chris Vanderplatz. But in doing that, what that is doing is that is taking the energy away from the middle line. It's almost making the bottom stronger in a sense. So you see Pasoko going to move up. That was close. Absolutely. Every time you see, folks at home, you see that double yellow line, do not cross it. If you cross it and gain a position, I believe race control will give that driver about 2 laps to give that position back. If they do not give that position back in 2 laps, they will be black flagged. Yeah, it looks like he just got in the wall very hard, and man, that's going to be really tough to come back from. I believe he already used his fast repair on the other incident. So if he still has a fast repair remaining, if there's a yellow, then you can bet you he's going to try to pop into pit road and get that fixed. Absolutely, they figured it out. They're gonna help each other. And it's interesting to see, but they're teammates on Thursday. Nick Lights, Thomas Meeks trying to work together. There's Josh Purcell, teammates with Thomas Meeks tonight, and they're gonna try to make their way towards the front. Lowline Motorsports versus Flagship Motorsports coming into effect. It's gonna be interesting to see how Mark Woodley plays it here. But I'll tell you what, if I'm Thomas Meeks, I would not bet that 4 car's going with you, because there was a couple times where he's just poking his nose, and if he pokes it too much and Thomas comes down, there's going to be a big wreck. But right there, look at that bottom line, all very organized, especially the front 4. That top line not organized enough, it looks like, but they're making a run. I'll tell you what, this final stage has really just been a Joe David, Nick Biddy show. They have found a formula, and it is working. Yeah, might have a little more cars in it. I mean, yeah, it's got the inside line has more cars in it, but I would say honestly, it's just really organization. You see right there, I think that's Mark Whitley that popped on a line in the outside lane. That's gonna help a little bit. Oh, I believe that was EJ Marshall that got. Yep, that was EJ Marshall that got popped out of line. Might have been. I know it was a bright red and blue truck. There's two up at the front. It doesn't look like a ton of damage on that truck. Gonna definitely hope for a caution here in a little bit. Because right now the outside lane is starting to pick up some steam. I think as long as they get to that second truck in line and Nick Biddy, I feel like they have a shot. 'Cause, man, Nick, I'll tell you what, Clinton Woodby is pushing Nick Biddy, who is pushing Joe DeVede, and that could spell disaster, especially in the last few laps. Oh, the driver in me says gotta be selfish and go for the win itself. But I will say, if Nick Biddy in his mind knows that he cannot win this race, then he's got to help his teammate. That is the more teammate play. But I will say that Nick Biddy should do everything he can to win this race himself. And that outside lane, now they have drawn even. Nick Lights pushing Josh Purcell. Lights he's looking. I'll tell you, Nick Lights is getting very eager.
Yes, sir. I think my mic was muted for like, I don't know, 15, 20 laps, so I apologize for that, but we're back. We're good. Oh, man. Missed all that great commentary, or lack thereof, but it's all good. I am a complete disaster. Right now, we're 11 laps to go. Frankie, you were taking over for a while, man. You're doing great. But P6, or number 6, Joe DeVede currently out front. Love to see it.
Yeah, numero 6 is numero uno so far in this race. Ooh, Nick Biddy getting sideways. That might have been Clinton Woodby trying.
That's right. Ooh, Mark Whitley, what are you doing? He's trying to make the move on the outside by himself. He's getting impatient, Frankie. You can tell.
Yeah, right now this is almost a move for the win. But I'll tell you what, he's making great progress by himself. He's making pretty good progress so far. He just needs somebody else to go up there with him. That is going to hurt the outside line a little bit. I think maybe if you're Thomas Meeks, now Thomas not going to have the chance anymore. I would have said if you're Thomas Meeks, try to go up there and push that 7 truck. You know he's fast.
That's right. Man, chat, if you know how long I was muted, let me know. I feel bad, but I appreciate you guys' patience. Right now, man, 10 laps to go. Woo, back up front. It's getting heated, Frankie. We're side by side.
It's just a dead heat so far, and that inside has a little bit more cars, but I'll tell you what, that outside line, for a couple laps now, it's been a little bit better organized, especially the front 3. Right now, it looks like organization is at a stalemate right now. I'll tell you what, this outside line might have a good run, and Nick Lights might push Josh Purcell to the lead here in just a second. Pushing the lead, but he's not quite clear. Not quite clear.
Man, this guy's got to be careful, because one big wreck here with 8 laps to go, approaching 8 laps, that could be huge for these guys. That could determine the result of this finish, Frankie.
Yeah, it could determine it. I think that was Mitch Diamond bailing on the outside line. It's going to help the bottom a little bit. Tell you what, Josh Purcell is getting a little bit lucky here because Nick Lights, man, I don't know if it's Nick Lights or if it's Josh Purcell, but one of them is definitely threading the needle. If Josh Purcell is trying to open up that exit, he needs to stay tight because I'll tell you what, Nick Lights is.
Ooh. Oh, big wreck. Nick Lights. Oh, man, Nick Lights. Anthony Williams down by the track. No caution. They're down below the track. Only 2 cars involved. This should not be a caution. It is a caution with 8 laps to go. Oh, man. Anthony Williams involved. Nick Lights involved.
Yeah, I believe that was all started by maybe a bad push on the back straightaway. That could have been what happened.
Let's go back here quite a bit and try and take a look. This might be too far back, but it's all right. We'll right on board here, play it out. Nick Light's going to be that second car on the outside lane. Let's watch him. Him and Mitch Diamond here kind of door. They get real close together.
You see right there, they get together and
Whitley
then Mark Whitley.
Yeah,
And then I believe Anthony Williams got turned. Was that Michael Lanphier or Chris Vanderplatz?
That was Chris Vanderplatz. That looks like he gave a nudge to Anthony Williams, so unfortunate there. But yeah, only two cars involved there, so not sure if iRacing threw that or maybe a race control, but
yeah, I can't confirm it was race control that threw that, but it was multiple cars, and technically, 3 were involved. So at the end of the day, probably I would say probably the right call.
Alrighty, well, Frankie, 7 laps to go. By the time we get going here, it's probably going to be 4 laps to go. What do you do? I mean, if you're up front, you're staying there, I assume. But if you're in the back, do you take tires? Do you take just fuel? I mean, how close are we?
Yeah, I'd say if you're anywhere from 11th on back, there's about 18 cars in the lead lap. I would say you're getting tires and you're getting maybe a splash of fuel just to be extra safe.
That's right.
And you want to have the most grip possible to try to make a run for the end, because right now, if you're, let's say, Trevor Zalazny, Josh Larson, Josh Purcell, even, if you just have the same amount of tires, but you're stuck in 10th place, it's most likely that you're not going to make a run towards the front. But if you have better tires, you're going to have better grip, meaning you could probably push a little bit better.
That's right. Well, that choose truck coming out to play right now.
Okay, so I would have to believe that the first 2 are going to pick the bottom line because they are teammates. It's going to be interesting what Clinton Woodby's going to do. All right, Clinton Woodby's going to pick the bottom.
Willie going to go with Diamond. Definitely a strong showing right there. Those 2 are obviously worked well together, fighting back and forth in the first stage. So that'll be interesting to see. Nick Lights does get that fast repair, so he did have it. That's good to see. He saved it for the absolute last second. Obviously, going to have about 4 or 5 laps to go to the end of this thing to try and wrap it up, but might be enough time. We'll see. But obviously, if yellows come out, we only have 1 green-white checkered, Frankie. I mean, Joe David, he might be in that spot, man. He might be in the catbird seat.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you got a couple guys that, especially on the bottom line, that really would need a win. Joe David, Nick Biddy. You got, right now, not in the bottom line, but would need a win is, looks like Larry McKenzie. Not going to need a win, but would love a win. But, tell you what, this race has kind of flipped itself on its head in terms of the running order.
Yes, sir, it has.
gonna-
Mark Whitley right there in P4 on the outside. So, I mean, he's going to give Mitch Diamond a great push, but, what can Mitch do about it? How can Joe David and Nick Biddy respond on the bottom line? It's going to be crazy. We're going to have 1 lap to go here. So, Frankie, we will have 4 laps to go in this race in the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200. Let's go hit a quick sponsor break real fast before we get going. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back for the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200 at Talladega with 4 laps to go under caution for our 6th time, our 4th time under incidents. 2 of them were obviously stages. So far, so good. I do apologize for the admin box ad not working quite as properly as it should. Trust me, their admin box's quality is much better than my editing skills. So definitely go and check them out for sure for all your race control and race control button works. They're so good, man. I've got one right here too that I use on Thursdays for our Cup Series. Really, really high quality stuff. Go check them out. All right, well, Frankie, here we go. Big race, big finish here. Who's going to lock themselves into the playoffs if they can? I mean, Mark Whitley, we've seen him obviously do great things in this series so far. Can he steal another win, or are we going to see a first-time winner?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're going to... I mean, the odds are it'll be a first-time winner, but we're getting ready to go, and it's going to be Joe David getting to the green. It's about 4 to go.
Here we go. Joe David on the inside line. Both lanes not really organized, but Nick Biddy going to try and give a push here. Clinton Woodby's going to get to him first. But man, that outside line just looks a lot more together. A lot more cars involved there, Frankie.
Yeah, watch out. Trevor Zelazny. He's got 3 teammates with him. He's going to go to the outside of Michael Lanfear. Tell you what, that's 3 teammates right there backed up.
Oh, hold on now. Big wreck here. Man, Josh Larson just gets into the back of Trevor Zelazny. Oh, man, here it is. Huge wrecks involved. Josh Purcell, EJ Marshall. Keeps it going. Chris Vanderplatz. Oh, my word. Larry McKenzie did not need this. Trevor Zelazny, big time involved in there too. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that just looked like from first initial view, just looked like a bad push in general. Might be Josh Larson getting into the back of that 56 truck.
We'll take a look here, but yeah, right now, Josh Larson, I mean, we saw him trying to push Trevor Zelazny. I mean, his teammate, man, just pushes him real hard, gets involved into him. Josh goes low, knowing they're going to wash up high, gets through it, I believe. Oh, maybe not. Gets right back into Trevor, finishes him off, and then all kinds of mess right here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Maybe go back. I mean, it looked like I'm hearing a little bit on the radio. There might have been a little bit of a late block on that 3rd lane. I mean, the only 2 that were there were Mitch Diamond and Mark Whitley. So you see the 3 on the outside lane, on the very outside lane, motoring down. Hey, you see Mark Whitley going to come up, trying to either get in front of that line.
Yeah.
I don't think he's trying to block it. I think he's just trying to get around Mitch Diamond. And then Trevor checks up a little bit. And with
Yeah.
Trevor checking out, Josh Larson just can't do anything about it. Ooh, hard hits for Mike Lamphere and Josh Purcell. I believe that's a blown motor on Josh Purcell. I don't think he's been in a wreck so far tonight, so he will have a fast repair.
That's right.
But
But
what this will do is it'll move us to our official green white checkered.
it's right on board with Andrew McKenzie here, sponsor for today's race. Diamond Rodent Proofing, in-car camera. Gets through this wreck brilliantly. Woo! That's how you survive these things, Frankie.
I tell you what, does a very good job. He goes very low, and I mean he can't really go any lower because number one, the corner is there, and the grass is also on the bottom of the apron, so you can't really go as much lower as he can. But did a great job, and right now he is sitting P7.
That's right. Great move right there. Josh Larson's still being shown as P6. Not sure if he's going to be given the EOL for that incident, Frankie. I don't know if you have any inside information on that, but
I believe he will not.
Doesn't look like it. He's being able to choose right here, so no EOL given for that. So Josh Larson in P6. Hey, a couple guys, Frankie, the man who was 2 laps down at one point, Mitch Diamond, is now leading this race and is going to be in the absolute best spot to try and win this race. If a yellow comes out, keep in mind, folks, this is our green-white checkered. It's our only one. If a yellow flag comes out before the white flag, the race is over. And the field is frozen. We only get one attempt. So Mitch Diamond right now is in the absolute catbird seat. I mean, obviously Mark Whitley going to be, trying to push him here. What can they do?
I mean, right now, the only thing you can do if you're Mark Whitley, Thomas Meeks, and anybody behind them is just push as much as you can. Push without wrecking, because this will be the only green white checkered. So if there is a wreck, you at least want to get to the white flag. I think that's at least what you want. You at least just want to get to the white flag.
I mean, Frankie, here's the thing, right? I mean, Joe David, Thomas Meeks behind him, they need the restart of their lives to catch up. He's got Josh Larson, Nick Lights, a lot of flagship teammates right here behind Joe David, so he's got to feel pretty good about that. So they're all lined up. That's going to be good for them. But this inside row, really, Mitch Diamond, Mark Whitley, Clinton Woodby also really solid. So it's going to be a battle to see who can get up to speed the best. And then, if this thing turns yellow real fast, I've got a feeling it might be Mark Whitley. Mitch Diamond, because he's going to get that jump. But if this thing goes green for these last 2 laps, Frankie, I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure Mark Whitley might get this thing. I know Mitch said, he's going to win this race, but Mark Whitley, I've got a feeling he knows a couple tricks on how to pass Mitch coming to that checkered flag.
Yeah, we saw at the end of stage 1, EJ Marshall, who was battling Mark Whitley for the end of the stage. EJ Marshall pulling out of line, and he just did it too late. And I think Mark now knows, because he defended it, he knows kind of
exactly
when to go. I think if you're gonna make your move, you has to be before the trial. It's got to be out of 4 before the trial. You've got about I would say 1,000 feet to make your move.
Yep.
If you're gonna win this race, 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet, around that, to try to make a play for this race.
It's a tough break.
I'm sure. Sorry, Steve.
No, that was it. That's all I had.
Oh, okay. My bad. Man, we're in shambles tonight, aren't we?
Just a slight, just right there, but it's all right. Right now, we're gonna have 2 laps to go. Mitch Diamond gonna lead this thing off. This is tough. I've got a funny feeling that can they play nice after the green flag waves? We'll see. A lot of these guys need points. They're trying to go for wins. But if you're on the bubble, right? Meeks, Larson, Andrew McKenzie, Chris Vanderplatz. If you're one of those guys, you need this thing to go green the entire way to have a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I think Joe David's going to be Joe DeVito has to be very aggressive with Mitch Diamond.
That's
if
right.
He wants to win this race.
Frankie Meyer's racing pretty fast. Mitch Diamond gets a great restart there. Ooh, hold on now. I think we might have seen Joe DeVito got loose a little bit there. They're off. Thomas Meek's gonna, oh, he's gonna lose Joe DeVito. Unfortunately, oh, hold on, big wreck. That might be it. Will that bring up the yellow? Yes, it does. Mitch Diamond's gonna win this race.
And from 2 laps down, said he was going to win it. Well, I don't know if you thought he was crazy, but I definitely thought he was crazy.
I mean, I was not going to say anything about it, you know, but Mitch Diamond, 2 laps down, we interviewed him, stage 2 winner, looked so dominant, even in the first stage, was on the outside line with EJ Marshall and Mark Whitley on the inside lane. Man, I'll tell you what, incredible run for him, going to be a first-time winner in the Harpoon Design Truck Series. Already looked really good for the playoff standing, so he's not going to be worried about that, but he'll be locked into the playoffs. They got to go 1 more lap to finalize this thing. Keep in mind that these guys involved in that wreck right there, we'll go back and look at it afterwards too for sure, but Mitch Diamond, man, in that 65 American Badass Chevy, he has been waiting for a win for so long in either series, the Truck Series or the Cup Series, just anything, just any win. Has looked so good recently in top 3s and podiums last week in both series, and Mitch Diamond finally is going to be able to break through and get a win here in the Harpoon Design Truck Series. They've got the pace car here, I'm going to safely assume, and at the time of the yellow flag, Frankie, that's when the field freezes. So in the post-race, the race in the league, we'll go back and look at how the field was frozen at the time of yellow, and they still have to, you know, maintain their position. Well, not necessarily position, but they have to, you know, cross the checkered finish. That's how we do it here in the league. It's a little different than what NASCAR does, but it ensures that last lap dramatics don't necessarily play a huge role into things. But we'll see. But man, Mitch Diamond behind the pace car, Mark Whitley in P2. Thomas Meeks, an absolutely massive podium right there for him. Andrew McKenzie in P5, unbelievable job. Chris Vanderplaat's P6, McKenzie and Clinton Woodby in P4. Awesome job. Here it is. Mitch Diamond wins the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200 here at Talladega.
Yeah, we won't. I would say, honestly, we really won't know who is involved in that last wreck was Joe DeVito and Thomas Meeks. So I would say, let's see what race control decided. But on first look, it did look like Joe DeVito just trying to side draft Thomas Meeks. Just got too far to the left and just either turned himself or something else happened. But either way, tell you what, massive win for Mitch Diamond.
Yes, it is. Season 2.
Just saying.
That's right.
Season 2 champion.
Season 2 champion in the Cup Series. So this man knows how to get it done. Season 3 didn't quite have the season he wanted. Has gone winless since his last win at New Hampshire in the Season 2 Cup Series, but breaks through in the Truck Series over here in the Harpoon Design Truck Series. Let's watch this man burn this thing down, man. Gets it done. Awesome job by Mitch Diamond. Mark Whitley in P2, a great comeback for him as well. Stayed in the back for most of it, but Mitch Diamond, so impressive. Thomas Meeks in P3. We're going to interview all 3 of these boys in just a second. Such a good time. Him and Robert Hassan going to be doing some teammate burnouts. Love to see it. If they can figure it out. It's not always the easiest thing, but... American Badass finally breaks through. Cool to see. All right, let's go back, Frankie, and take a look at that last flag, or that caution flag. I do have word from race control. I'll get to that in just a second. So we'll have to go back just a bit more too, but all right, let's look back over here. So last lap, Thomas Meeks comes down into that third lane. Really, really bold move right there, but obviously proved to be important. Yeah, right there. Joe DeVee does come down into the 55. So that was the ruling by race control. The sixth car of Joe DeVee, the green car, comes down onto the 55, and then creates obviously this unfortunate mess back here. Looks like Joe DeVee and Nick Biddy kept it going. So looks like they. Oh, hold on now. Whoa, Nick Biddy and last lap dramatics. Not sure what's going on here. Excuse me, but some passing below the yellow line. That's one thing we have to look back at too, just in case. But some aggression there, perhaps. But right there, at the time of yellow, Mitch Diamond was your leader. So great to see. We're going to hit a quick commercial break. We're going to go hit back our sponsors and talk to them for a second and show you guys that. But we'll be right back, and we'll come back and talk to the podium. All right, big shout out to HarpoonDesign.com for their support. Great to see them, man. Awesome job. We're gonna go back and talk to our top three. We're gonna talk to Thomas Meeks first. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1 like we always do. Let's go down and bring in our good buddy Thomas Meeks. Let's see where he's at. Here he is. Hey, Thomas Meeks, Steve here in the booth. How's it going, dude?
Oh, it's going, man. That was fun.
Well, hey, man, you came in top 3. You made a bold move there right before that caution came to duck underneath Joe DeVee, to sneak in front of Clinton Woodby to finish off that P3. Man, how you feeling? That was a great finish.
I'm feeling good, man. That's super exciting. I got to his inside, and he just kept coming down, and I knew that was my only opportunity to at least get a podium here. So it's a lot of fun.
Love to see it. I mean, obviously, this is huge for your playoff run. I mean, you were looking pretty good anyway, but I mean, obviously, a top 3 finish. You know, you cannot be more than happy about that. Your first podium, I believe, of the season. Could be wrong on that, but either way, congratulations again, man. Do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Wheels America for sponsoring this truck. I'd like to thank Honeybee Acres, Harpoon Design for the awesome schemes, Rice Equipment Service Inc., and Flip Dogs Auto Repair, and of course, MK2 Aerospace. Can't thank them enough for jumping on board this season. We're here and on the Cup cars, so you'll see those there Thursday.
Love that, man. Hey, go congrats, or go celebrate with your team. Love to see it, dude. We'll catch you later.
Will do. Thanks, man.
All right, so that was Thomas Meeks in that 55 Wheels America Chevy. Love to see that. We're going to bring in Mark Whitley next.
We're either going to make it to the back straightaway, or we're not going to even make it to turn 1.
Hey, Mark Whitley. Steve here in the booth, man. Hey, we talked to you earlier of stage 1, but then right here, I mean, came so damn close. P2 looked really good doing it, getting through that field. What are your thoughts?
It's Talladega. That's pretty much what that was. I mean, it's just a product of the racing. Everybody's got a faster pair, so they're going to, especially toward the end of the race, so they're going to be more aggressive because they got a backup car waiting on pit road. So,
right.
Yeah, just the cautions kind of fell our way, kind of didn't. I kind of did what I wanted to on that last restart. I was able to get to the back of Mitch and kind of push him, get clear of the 6. And
yeah,
the original thought was to get him clear, jump on the outside, but the outside deteriorated. And looking back at it, he left the bottom wide open, and I should have probably tried to get up under him and coulda, woulda, shoulda. But second place at Talladega. I'm not going to complain about that because I mean, the amount of wrecks that were around me all night, and we didn't really get caught up in any. That's a blessing because I think we had like 6 seconds of damage the whole night. So it's wild and crazy, and it's pretty much just a crapshoot. Hopefully your number comes up, and if it don't, then it's just your night.
Yeah,
not your night.
Yeah, we thought we kind of called it before that last restart. I thought maybe that you were trying to stick with Diamond, and then maybe try the same move that EJ Marshall tried to make on you in stage 1, but obviously make it work. And obviously didn't have a chance to try it because the yellow came out. But either way, P2 can't complain about that. Obviously looking forward to the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. Obviously looking real good. Plenty of playoff points, so definitely a contender for sure. Any shout outs for us or for before we go?
Just shout out Brantley Harpoon Design. Sponsors this series. Sponsors my car. He does all my paint jobs, and he also does spotter duty on race nights. So appreciate all the work he does. And everybody, if you need a paint scheme done, go check him out at harpoondesign.com. He's got a little form you can fill out, or if you just want to check out some of his other stuff, he's got almost 2,000 or 3,000. He's got a lot of paint schemes on trading paints. Just if you want to check out stuff he's already done, so check him out on there. And yes, final shout out to my family, mom, dad, granddad, all the family tuning in these broadcast races. I just appreciate them taking the time out of their night to, sit down and watch a virtual race and, support me. So I appreciate them. And I guess shout out to y'all for putting on a broadcast. Always really good work. 2 weeks in a row coming up short, but, second place 2 weeks in a row, you can't really complain too much about it. So, yeah, it was pretty good, I guess.
Love to hear it, man. Hey, we'll see you next week back at Watkins Glen. We hear that you're a road course guru, so it's going to be pretty cool to see how you do there. But obviously, one more race to go in the playoffs. Going to be a fun time. We'll catch you next time, man.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, that's Mark Whitley there for you. That 7 Harpoon Design Truck Series. We're going to go and bring in our winner today, Mitch Diamond. I'll tell you what, guys, get ready for this interview. Mitch Diamond, bringing him in.
Steve, how you doing?
Dude, I'll tell you what. Hey, first of all, I was a skeptic when you came in here at the end of stage 2 and said, you know what? I'm going to win this race. I was like, yeah, okay, bro. I mean, 2 laps down. I mean, my man here was upside down at the end of stage 2 after he won it. And you come back all the way from 2 laps down and you win this thing. How'd you do it?
That was just my mentality from the drop of the green flag. I just want to win this race. I don't want to ride. So just luckily dodged all the wrecks and stayed up front. It was pretty fun, honestly.
Love to hear that, man. I mean, obviously, stage 2. I mean, those cautions kind of played to your I guess strategy, right? I mean, you were the only one laps down, so you were the lucky dog every single time. I mean, had that fast repair, so that's great, to have that. I mean, how'd the race look in general from your view?
I thought the racing was awesome, to be honest with you. Everybody was pushing, everybody was aggressive, but there was still room to make moves. So the more aggressive drivers were rewarded tonight, and that was awesome to see at a track like Talladega.
Love that, dude. I mean, honestly, listen, I mean, season 2 Cup Series, you won the championship in New Hampshire. Haven't won a national or a league race since then, but obviously breakthrough here at Talladega. Well, how does it feel to get back into the winner's circle in any form of racing?
Honestly, when that caution come out, it didn't even register with me that was the end of the race. I was still focused, like, man, where's the 7 going? Where's the 7 going?
Yep.
But it was like when it finally sank in, it was like, oh man, I haven't won a race in so long. This feels really, really awesome.
Awesome, man. Love to hear it. Hey, give us your shout outs. If you have any shout outs for us. I mean, obviously you were already looking pretty good in the playoff hunt, so you were already, locked in as far as points wise, pretty much, but the win secures it. And
Got
the next
playoff points now.
That's true. It's a massive playoff points. That's huge. 6 points just out of today alone. So that'll carry you throughout the entire playoffs. But then, also next week, Watkins Glen, going to round out the regular season. What are your thoughts on that? And then, give us your shout outs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Watkins Glen. I want to thank ABR, obviously all the guys on team, and we're going to try to get old JD and Victory Lane on Thursday. Thanks to Harpoon Design and ASRA and God Goodyear and Gatorade.
Love to hear it, man. Hey, congrats again on the win. We'll see you back on Thursday. Good stuff.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Alrighty. So you heard it. Mitch Diamond comes back and wins this race, man. Such a good job for him. Oh, awesome job. Just to go through real quick, top 10, Mitch Diamond, Mark Whitley, Thomas Meeks, Clinton Woodby, Larry McKenzie, Chris Vanderplatz, Josh Larson, Nick Biddy, Larry McKenzie, Sr., and then Nick Lights in P10. So awesome job by these boys. Mitch Diamond finally breaking through. Tell you what, a lot of good times here. Frankie, we'll bring you back in for a second. I mean, we wanted to see a first-time winner, and we did, as far as in the truck series. So really cool to see. What are your thoughts on the race as we wrap this up?
I thought the race was, especially the first, I would say probably 70 laps, were pretty racy. Obviously, we had a couple of yellows at the end. The last one, kind of, it ruined the ending a little bit, but at the end of the day, Joseph David was doing everything he could to try to win the race. And he tried to make a move, and it just didn't work. And, that kind of soured the finish for the fans and for all the drivers. But at the end of the day, it still didn't tarnish the race. I thought the racing was still good. 3 wide at times, and really the top or the bottom wasn't like OP. There wasn't like a dominant line where, everything was kind of just single file, and, there was always side-by-side racing.
That's right. Pretty good finish here. Obviously, Mitch Diamond getting the win here for the Diamonds Rodent Proofing 200 at Talladega. So good. But hey, listen, we're coming back here Thursday for the Wheels America Cup Series. A lot of guys going for their win. Again, you saw it here. But for the Cup Series, Talladega is their regular season finale. So on Thursday, that's it for them. After that will be the All-Star Race next week. Don't forget about that. That'll be an amazing show as always. Excuse me. Last year was a lot of fun to watch them. At Kentucky this year will be at Las Vegas for the All-Star Race. And then next week will be Watkins Glen for the Truck Series for their regular season finale. But going to be a good time on Thursday. A lot can happen. A new winner could happen. It could be absolute craziness, just like we saw tonight. So going to be a lot of fun. Again, chat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support. Like the stream. Subscribe to us if you like what you see. Anything and everything goes quite a way. So thank you again for the support. Mitch Diamond going to be your winner here for the Diamond Rodent Proofing 200. We'll see you back here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday for the Wheels America Cup Series. And that's it. Guys, we thank you. We love you. We'll catch you back next week or Thursday. Have a good night.